Hang on, hang on. Listen to this comment about the American inflation rate, which is at 8.2%. Have a watch of this.
But we have a lower inflation rate than most any other nation in the world.
There you are. We've got a lower inflation rate than most any other nation in the world. Well, I suppose, Peggy, that's right if you exclude Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, India, Indonesia, Japan, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Switzerland. I've run out of breath. Peggy, what do you do with this bloke?
Well, he's claiming that we have the least worst inflation. Inflation, above 2% or so is always bad. And I would say that he probably caused that global inflation. So it's like he tipped the first domino. He's watching it cause chaos and problems all over the world and sitting back and saying, well, ours isn't really that bad. Now, to your point, he's lying about that because there's a lot of places that have less inflation than we do. But even if that were true, he takes no responsibility for the fact that his bad policies here in America, in a lot of ways, have contributed to these problems that are cascading throughout the world.
I know. I mean, you and I have talked before about the Biden administration raiding its emergency petroleum reserves. I mean, surely this is only because Biden stopped every initiative which under Trump made America energy independent.
Well, we were energy independent under Trump. Not only that, but we were exporting oil all around the world. And under Biden, in a very short period of time, we have become energy dependent. And he's walking around the world, hat in hand, on his knees, begging people to produce more oil. It's ridiculous because he's begging for more oil from the Saudis. We actually have more oil here in America than Saudi Arabia. And yet he consistently goes and begs for them. I don't understand why it's better for the climate to pump oil around the world and then transport it here to the U.S. instead of just pumping and developing our own oil reserves right here in the United States.
Absolutely. It's going to draw another 15 million barrels in December, all up 180 million barrels to, quote, arrest soaring oil prices. Peggy, what is that doing to oil production? I mean, basically, the oil releases are equivalent to Libya's daily oil production. Haven't they brought the strategic reserves to a 38-year low? And weren't those releases meant to lower America's energy bills, which they haven't? And surely if you start releasing petroleum from your reserves, what does that do to domestic production?
Well, this is the worst possible policy. And looking at the timing of it, you have to believe that it's politically motivated. He's doing it intentionally just so that he can lower the prices a tiny bit before the midterms. But he's bragging about reducing the prices when he's only reducing them a little bit from the historic high prices that he has caused. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve is meant not to provide coverage for bad policies. It's meant to protect Americans in times of emergency. Joe Biden has created the emergency, which is causing him to release it. He doesn't need to do this, but he has, and he alone can fix this problem.